Hello, my name is Isaac and I'm with Gracie, and today we're going to be demonstrating the test of visual motor skills, which is a standardized assessment that is going to be looking at tracking and fine motor skills in people aged 30 to 90 years old. This assessment requires about 20 to 30 minutes to administer and about 15 minutes to score, making it possible to do in one session if the client is able to do so. This assessment should be administered in a calm environment, and the clinicians should make casual conversation before the assessment begins to make sure the client is at ease. If any other people should sit outside the room, make sure they don't interact with the client during the assessment, and the only materials that are needed is in the test booklets and 2 pencils, and then the scoring booklet for the person giving the assessment.
Today, I'm going to be playing the part as a 21-year-old named Jeannie Coleman who presents with mild neurocognitive disorder with impaired cognition, fine motor skills, and visual tracking.
Now let's begin the assessment. Good afternoon, Jeannie. How are you doing today?
Good.
Are you okay? Do you need anything before we begin the assessment?
Nope.
Okay, so today we will be copying some shapes onto pages in a booklet. Work carefully and do your best. All you have in front of you are 2 pens. Make sure, don't make any marks on the test booklet yet. Wait for my instructions before you start. First, let's practice. Look at this page. There's a design at the top and the rest of the page is blank. Copy this design in the blank space at the bottom of the page. Do not trace over the design or sketch it. Copy the design only once in the space at the bottom. Make sure your design exactly like the one on the page. Work quickly but carefully. You are not being timed. Do not erase, cross out, sketch, or draw more than one design on the page. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you have a question?
No.
You may copy the practice figure 1. Okay, now go to the next page and do that one. Okay, now go to the next page and start. When you finish that one, turn the page and do the next one, and keep going until I tell you to stop. Okay, Jeannie, so you've completed the assessment for today. I want to thank you for your time. Do you have any questions for me before we end?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Now we're going to show you what the scoring for this assessment looks like. This is the scoring book, and there's 2 parts to it. Part 1, you're looking for accuracy, which is going to show you the percentile rate. And then part 2 is looking more towards like error analysis and interpretation of that. And then there's 3 ways that they could have scored for each of the 9 different errors that you score them on. And then the first one's no concern, which is going to be at or above the 26th percentile. Monitor would be between the 11th and 25th percentile. And then referring out would be at or below the 10th percentile. And then this is what the inside looks like. It shows you each of the individual shapes, 1 through 39, and then across the top is the errors, the non-errors that I was talking about earlier.
Then, after looking through the client's test book, you're going to assess the mistakes and the quality of the shapes that were drawn, and then record the scores in this form.
as you guys just saw, we just went through and scored the whole assessment. We compared the shapes to different errors that we have. There was 9 different types of errors, and then we also looked at accuracy. This was the first 22. Your accuracy score goes here, and then you mark all of the errors, and then you total those up at the bottom. And then on the second page, it's 23 through 39. Your accuracy once again is right there, and then all of your errors right there. On this very bottom row, we have our totals. So she scored a 43 as her raw score for accuracy, and then all of those are the totals of the different errors, which Isaac will hit on in a second.
So from that, she said we had a raw score of 43, and then we converted that via a chart in the manual, and it turned out to be a standard score of 79, and then she fell in the 8th percentile. And then over here, again, we took all of the sums from this previous page and put here, that more condensed version, and she had no concern in a lot of areas, but the areas she did we have to monitor or refer out is line quality. She scored a 4, and that is monitor. Error number 6, which is she scored 21 on, which is size or part changed, and that is refer. And then error number 9, shape overlap, which she scored a 4 on, and then that's also refer.
And he figured that out by looking at this chart, which is also in the manual, and where she was aged 20 to 29. That's how he figured out whether we needed to refer, monitor, or if there was no concern.
Thank you.
Thanks.